Hello there, everybody, and welcome to today's live official OET class. My name's Scott. I'm the Academic Director at Swoosh English, and I hope you're all doing really well. Thanks so much for joining us today. And, well, first and foremost, enjoy the class. So I just want to make sure, of course, that everyone can both hear me and that everyone can also see me as well. So if you're watching on the Swoosh English Facebook page, the Swoosh English YouTube page, or the OET Facebook or YouTube page, please just let me know by sending your comments into the chat box. Yes, Scott, I can hear you. Yes, I can see you, etc., etc. Just let me know. Once the tech check is out of the way, then we can get along with the class today. But looking forward to hearing you and looking forward to seeing you today in the class. Okay, good. I think people can hear me and can see me. You are all saying hello, and that's the most important thing. Fantastic. Good. Well, welcome to today's session. Let's see who has joined us today. Let's call out a few students by name because you've obviously come all the way out of your busy time and schedule to join in this official class today. We have Bina, we have Adiola, we have Noza, we have Iniobong, we have Vaishali, we have Irina, we have Sandra, Van, K-Mose, Kerthi, Ruru have joined us on one feed. Over on the YouTube feed, we have Lungelo, Mukesh, Sumya, Sunita, Yunus, Nighat, Day, Anit, Ubong, Lucia, Shobha, Princey, Aksa, and Joby and Uller. I've also come over on the YouTube page. Welcome to you guys. And then finally over on the OET Facebook page, we have Divine, Bipana, Divya, RH, Riaz, Luciana, Hiba, Situ, Mohammed, Ugokchuwu, Mohammed, Nisha, Joel, Divine, Simran, Lizzie, Day, and Mai, as well as a few others as well. If I said everyone's names wrong, I am sorry in advance. Please, please forgive me. Anyway, guys, welcome to the session and thank you very much for, of course, joining us today. So I've got a question for everyone before we begin today's Essential Listening Skills class. But I want to know, well, some of you know where I'm from. I'm going to play a little game today. So where are you from? Let me know where you currently are from in the world. Throw in your comments. Tell me where you are from. We'll see who's currently closest to me in the world. And then we'll see who's furthest away from me in the world as well. How does that sound? So let me know where you're from or where you are watching from today in the comments. Looking forward to seeing them. Then I'll reveal. Okay, so we have Van from the Philippines. We have Kerthi from India. Fantastic. Okay. We have Anu from Kerala. We have Dorothy from Zimbabwe watching in Algeria. We have Lucia from Zimbabwe as well. Very good. Eunice is from Turkey. And we have Mukesh is from Tamiz Nadu. Okay. And we have Ian or Lungelo, sorry, from Swaziland watching us today. Very good. Okay. Let's see what other students are from. We have Ikaya from Chennai. We have Aslan from Kerala. We have Anu from Kerala, Jessica from the Philippines. We have Tajana from Croatia, Devang from India. A few here from the UK. Day's living in London. Taposi is from Bangladesh. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, I'm going to check over on one more channel and see. All right. We have K-Mose from the Philippines, Ruru from Zimbabwe. We have Bina from Oman, Vaishali from India, Mohammed from Egypt, Sumya from Oman. We have Mian from Doha in Qatar. Sarah from the UK, Alfonso from Saudi Arabia, Florence from the Philippines, Anita from Oman, Merciful from Italy, Iniobog's currently in Ireland. We have Freewind from Kerala, Noza from the UK, Sharina from India, Vaisali from India, Nithu from Saudi, Faith from London, and Irina watching us from Bulgaria too. So a nice bunch of international students in today's class. So we got one clear winner to a person who is closest to me. That is Iniobong, who is living in Ireland, where I also am from and where I am currently living as well. I live in the north coast of Ireland, and I do think that the furthest away from me likely is the Philippines. It usually is, but maybe we'll have a student from Australia or New Zealand in here. That could be a bit further away from me as usual. Thank you very much, guys, for your introductions, and whatever time it is with you in the world, could be very late, could be very, very early. Thank you very much for joining us today. So let's get on today to today's class. Today, of course, we are looking at essential skills for listening, and we're going to get started with that class now. So what will we be doing for today's class? Well, we're going to start off with a mini quiz about you and your OET journey, how it's all going for you. And then we'll do a mini quiz on listening part A to review your own knowledge of listening part A and to test what you learned in the class a couple of weeks ago. We had a listening class, I think actually 1 month ago at this point, an overview of listening part A. We're going to see what you've learned from that and also how you know the listening exam in general. We're going to analyze and practice essential methods to assist you in scoring higher in listening part A. And then finally, we'll do some more practice and some evaluation. And then a bit of a Q&A at the very end if we have some questions for you to answer about your OET preparation, what we learned in the listening class today, anything I can help you with. So yeah, we've got a good jam-packed 45 to 50 minutes or so with the rest of this class. Anyway, let's get started and start off with a bit of a quiz about you and your OET preparation. So I want to know, guys, why are you taking the OET exam? Of course you're taking the OET exam. That's why you're here today, unless you're not sure and you're still thinking about the OET exam. But let me know in the comments, guys, what is your reason for taking the OET exam? And don't say, oh, because I need to do my OET. I need to get registered for the NMC or the GMC in the UK. I want to do my PLAB. Now think of your bigger reason for doing the OET exam. Like what's your goal? What's your aspirations from taking the OET? Like you're all doing it for something to better you and your lives in some way. So throw your comments into the chat box, guys. Why are you taking the OET exam? Please let me know in the chat box. I want to get to know you today and why you're here, what you're trying to get out of this today. Oh, I see Preeti is from New Zealand. Preeti, you are the winner. You are the furthest away from me, not someone from the Philippines for once. Even though the Philippines usually wins. But let me know why you're taking the OET exam, guys. Throw in your comments, please. It's nice to meet everyone today. Thank you very much for joining. So Janab has said to go to the UK and fulfill my dream. So Janab wants to live in the UK. Dia has said to become a doctor in the UK. Obviously one for professional reasons to do so as well. Jelly has said to be a registered nurse. Jolie has said to successfully migrate with my family in the UK, I guess. And Zipaya wants to get a job in a foreign country. All great reasons. Yeah. Merciful has said to get a better job, simply. Yeah. Dai over in the YouTube channel says employment abroad, greener pastures, so to say, right? Preeti said to improve my proficiency in English, I'm taking the OET test, and Raju is planning to work in the UK as well. So there's your reasons, guys. You're doing it to improve your job prospects, to live and fulfill your dream of living in a country you're really interested in, for example, the UK, or maybe you want to move over there and visit family and friends. It's really, really important, guys. Thanks for all of those great reasons, okay? So you've kind of answered this one already, but I'll give anyone a bit more of a chance to answer. So what do you plan to do when you pass the OET? Try and write in a sentence as clear as possible. What's your dream? Where you want to move to? Where precisely you want to work, etc., etc. But I'll keep reading the comments as they come in. Irina said, I would like to pursue a career in this area of study as a doctor or a nurse, more than likely, or something like that. Vanna said, I want to be a registered nurse in New Zealand and live there. There's your dream, Van. There's your reason for doing this. You want to live in New Zealand, which is a beautiful country. I spent a bit of time there. It's really, really nice. Vanita said it's mandatory to work in a British country. Yes, but also the UK is your dream country as well. That's very, very important. Yeah, so it's mandatory. You're doing it to improve yourself and to improve your prospect of living and training and working in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, the USA, etc., etc. All really, really important. Okay, guys. So now on to a content question. We're looking at listening part A again today, and I want to know, what is your biggest challenge with OET listening part A? What are you finding the most difficult with this particular part of the exam? And what we may actually look at in today's class to help you with this aspect of the exam. But tell me in the comments, guys, what's your precise difficulty? Be as specific as you can. Don't say listening is really, really hard. Yes, it can be very hard, but I want to know precisely what your listening issues are, and throw those comments into me as if you can. So in relation to the previous question, Iniobong said, I'm a registered nurse and I want to continue with my profession. Merciful is to proceed with my profession, my nursing career. Those are great reasons, guys. Of course, why we are doing that. All right. So Janab said the accent of the patient's speaking accents can be tricky. I do agree. I do agree. Devang has said intonations. The way that language ebbs and flows as native English speakers speak can be quite tricky. Aslam has said drugs name pronunciation, right? Yeah, of course. Some drugs can be many people actually pronounce drug names very, very differently as well. And it might be something different to what you've learned or even what you have in your head. Yeah, so we have intonation, drug names, spelling mistakes, and pronunciation, spelling as well. So the good news is, guys, is that your spelling doesn't always have to be 100% correct in OET. Of course, you should try and make it correct as possible. But as long as the spelling, what you spelt it is, follows the phonemes of the language, you may get a mark with that. So spell it as best as you can, as you think it sounds when it's pronounced. So you can actually get a mark for slightly incorrect spelling, but as long as it's phonetically correct, just so you know. Okay, people are saying, yep, difficulties identifying pronunciation, time, the accent, etc., etc. Yes, there's a variety of accents that you can get in OET listening, but most often it's going to be a British accent of some sort, it's going to be an Australian accent, or maybe an American accent, but it can vary. So spelling, accent, and timing is all really important for that. Good reasons. Think about those moving forward with today's class. So, who's ready for a quiz? We're doing a review quiz in something that we learned 4 weeks ago. So let me know in the comments, guys, if you are ready. Say, yes, I am ready. If you're not ready, don't send any comments in. Yeah, don't even say anything at all. I'm sure you are ready. If you're ready for the quiz, let me know. Show me your enthusiasm in the comments, please. Because you know what? If you say no or you don't say anything, we're doing this quiz anyway. It's happening. So I want to see you guys feeling enthusiastic about it at least so we can move forward. Yes, great job. Everyone said, yes, Scott, yes, I listen to you. I will certainly listen to you. All right, let's get started with a quiz. It's a review on the format of OET listening part A that we covered a few weeks ago. Let's see what you know. So here are the questions, guys. How long is listening part A? Question 2, how many recordings will you hear? Question 3, what will you hear in the recordings? Question 4, what type of task do you have to complete? And then question 5, how many marks are there in total for listening part A? Throw your comments in, guys. How long is listening part A? How many recordings will you hear? What will you hear in the recordings? What type of task do you have to complete? And how many marks are there? Try and label your questions as best as possible. This is a review quiz from what we learned a few weeks ago. And of course, it is important that you do know this criteria for your own OET preparation as well. So if you weren't there a little while ago, that's completely fine. You've probably done your own preparation, but you need to know what you're going in to do the exam for. And that's what we're doing today, to making sure everyone, of course, is ready for this. Thank you very much, guys, for all of your enthusiasm. Okay, we got lots of questions coming in. People are saying 15 minutes for part A. People are saying there's one recording. People who are saying, I will hear someone speak in the recordings. That's right. You're not wrong there. What type of task do you have to complete? Okay. Some people are saying, yep, I will have to complete a listening task. I love your answers, guys. They're great. How many marks are there in total? Some people are saying 24. Yeah. Conversation with the patient, etc., etc. Okay. People are saying Harsh Varden, said patient and doctor conversation, 15 minutes, 2 recordings, says Dincy. Suvitha said 2 records. I thought I said 2 seconds there. I'm like, that's very short. Okay, guys, we know our format quite well. Faith has said 15 minutes for part A to answer question number 1. Okay, guys, and Jolie has said fill in the blanks, and there's 24 marks in total. Right, lots of great answers coming in here, guys. Let's have a look and analyze what the actual answers are. So, yes, you're right, guys. Well done. Listening part A is typically around 15 minutes in length. So it's expedited listening. How many recordings will you hear? You will hear 2 recordings in listening part A. What will you hear in the recordings? And some people are saying you will hear someone speak. Great answer, you will. But more importantly, it's a patient consultation. A patient will be approaching the medical professional and going through a consultation as if what the issues were. It's a bit like listening to a speaking role play in OET. It's a consultation. This patient and the doctor speak and they talk about an issue or an ailment of some sort. What type of task do you have to complete? Listening part A is structured note completion. You will see a series of notes with blanks, and to fill in those blanks with the appropriate notes. And how many marks are there in total? 24 marks for listening part A, as you can see. So it's worth quite a bit. And obviously some people say, well, part B and C are more difficult, but part A is where you get the most marks. So you need to be upping your game in this because it is worth the most overall. And that's why it's so important. Anyway, let's get into the first part of the class. Here is an example listening part A task. As you can see, we have the structure of the extract. As you can see, we have notes, we have headings, we have subheadings, we have some notes that are missing and others that you can do. We're going to look at that today to see how you can improve your organization and listening skills for listening part A. So today is an essential skills class. We're going to look at 3, what I deem to be essential skills to improve your accuracy and your listening, and not just your listening, but your ability to perform well in this task. You're not just listening for this, you're also undergoing some other skills too. And the first thing that you can actually do is not actually listening at all. Don't forget you have some time before the listening is done, and there are things that you can do to improve your overall accuracy. And the first thing we're going to look at today is extracting keyword highlighting and analysis. Extract keyword highlighting and analysis. So guys, why is this skill essential? You will have 30 seconds at the very beginning of each listening exercise, of each extract, to assess the answer options before listening. That's a lot of time that you have overall. You might think it's not enough time, but there's 30 seconds that you have to really focus in and improve your listening overall. So what you can do is analyzing and understanding the topic and the keywords of the extract will give you a good understanding of the gist of the upcoming extract. That will improve your accuracy. So if you know what the conversation is about, you can predict the language and the flow that might be happening from looking at the words in the context. It will improve your ability to listen into the essential information you need to hear. So of course, apart from that, keyword analysis allows you to focus on your listening around the ideas, assisting you in following the extract accurately. So the 30 seconds is all about prediction and organizing yourself to know what is coming next. Text in red. Remember, the question script content will be different to what is heard. Yes, the answer option is the exact same in terms of word format, but the other wording that you're going to hear in the audio file, the transcript, and of course the notes, there will be differences in how that is organized. That's why it's important to predict ahead, so that when you hear something and you look at something on the notes that is similar, you predict it. That's when you listen in and see, hey, there could be an answer here. What can I get and how can I put that down? So let's see how we can practice that skill. Here is a question extract. And the first thing, of course, that you would do is look at the extract question, the question prompt. So it said you hear an obstetrician talking to a patient named Melissa Gordon. For questions 1 to 12, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes. Look at this information, guys. What information would you highlight here? What information would you underline? What information is important to you to predict what might be happening next in this listening extract? So have a look, guys. There's about 3 or 4 different phrases and words I find very important here. So what would you find important in the 30 seconds of prediction to begin with? What information do you find essential here? Throw that into the chat box, guys. Any suggestions whatsoever? You're going to spend a bit of time analyzing this language, underlining it, taking note of it. What information do you find useful here? Throw your suggestions into the chat box, guys. Let me know, please. I want to know what you think. Of course, I'll be showing everyone in a minute what I think is the essential information, but I want to know exactly what you guys would think is important to take note of here in this question mark. Okay, Mitchell has said the word obstetrician. Right, that is important. So therefore we know what kind of conversation we might have based on the medical professional. That's really important. Any other words that we think might be important here, guys? Throw them into the chat box, please. Okay, anything else we might think is important? Yep, we heard obstetrician, diagnosis and treatment plan. We don't really have that information here, Jipin. Okay, everyone's saying the name of the medical professional. That is really important. I do agree. Is there anything else that we might find important here? Throw them in as well, guys. Anything else that we think might be important? Okay. Right. Consultation with whom? There we go. Jumi has said the profession and the patient. history of pregnancy. Now, you're throwing in some comments here with information we don't actually have here. We don't actually have this information at this minute. But here would be what I would find is the essential information from what we can see in this extract only. You've highlighted it, guys. Of course, the name of the professional. It's important to look at obstetrician. Now, for we know, okay, what does the professional do? What kind of language can I expect? What sort of advice might they give? In addition to that, the patient's name is important. The patient's name may be mentioned quite a few times in this conversation. It might even be used with other names as well. So we know who the patient is, who else might be involved, then that can improve our listening as well. So please take a note of that. It's also important, if you're new to OET listening, to be aware about exactly what the task is asking you to do. It says complete your notes with a word or a short phrase. So you don't always answer a single word. You may answer with a combination of words and numbers as well. So this will be important to take a note of to understand that what you have to do in this task. But the professional's name, the patient's name, and any information which tells you what you have to do in the task, at least initially. That would be important. So take a note of the medical professional, the patient's name, and what you need to write. Yes, as you get better at this task, you will start to know what you have to write at all times, but take a note of the first two especially at all times. It can help you predict what might be happening and help you focus in your listening to important information based on that information. So that's basically the title alone. However, we can do the exact same with the case notes in the listening activity. So have a look at this, guys. It says medical history, has occasionals, allergic to, has a blank, what diet, non-smoker. This will be her second child. So what do you think would be essential information that you would take a note of here? What would you take a note of here? Okay, just what we did last time. We underline or we circle some key information and keywords. What would you now do here? What would be the important information to you here? Okay, waiting for your answers, guys. Looking forward to seeing this come through. Now, of course, remember, you only have 30 seconds to do that. We're going to analyze it in a lot more detail today. This is what you should be doing initially with your listening. If you can't do it according to the speed as of yet, you might have to listen to it more than once, analyze the language. That's fine. As long as you're getting the technique down. You're improving your technique as well as you can to begin with. You're getting better at it. You're improving your skills and your efficiency. Then you get better over time. Okay, some options coming here. Occasional, medical history, patient occupation, allergic, diet, occasional. Okay, so analysis of some keywords coming in here. Okay, medical history, etc., etc. Some good predictions coming in here too. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Great. So we got the gist here. Now let's analyze by why some of this language is really, really important. So what I've deemed to be important is all of this information. When you're looking through the case notes, take a note of any headings or subheadings, because the headings or subheadings is useful information for your own structured listening. So if you see the heading that says medical history here, for example, you'll know, oh yeah, well, likely the patient or the professional will indicate what's coming next by asking a question or using a signposting device about medical history. So now I want to know about your medical history, for example, Melissa. You might hear something like that. Oh yeah, now I know I'm here. And now the information is here. But in terms of what else can we take note of? Nouns, including names, dates, and any medical terms are important to highlight and take a note of because these will be mentioned in a different form, of course, to the notes. But if you hear something like it, you can prepare for them. You know where you are, you know what you're listening to, and they can help you organize your information too. Likewise, any verbs are important, as well as any adjectives and adverbs, the key content words of a note. So as an example of this, we've taken down medical history. There's your heading, there's your subheading. Take a note of this, highlight it. Words like occasional, okay? Occasional is an adjective. We have allergic is an adjective. We have diet is a noun. We have non-smoker, it's a noun phrase. We have will, which of course is our modal, our modal for our verbs. And we have second child, which is obviously a noun phrase too. Information like this will be mentioned, is key to content. If you can take a note of it mentally in the 30 seconds, prepare for, underline and highlight it. It can help you, one, with your organization of your listening and help you tune in to any key phrases based on what you've heard. So take a note, headings, subheadings, nouns, names, dates, medical terms, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Okay, let's practice that again with a second one. So have a look, guys, at the second set of case notes for the listening exercise. have a look there and tell me what information that you think is important here. I'll just make sure that's enlarged so everyone can see it clearly for a second. But have a look here and tell me what you think would be the important words and information here. So the task is to type out the words that are important and just practice your knowledge of the use of English, the various components of written and spoken English. Can you tell me what the word is that you're underlining? Practice your grammatical knowledge. Is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective, an adverb, or an other important word or phrase? Throw it into the chat box, guys. Let me know what's important here to you. What would you underline? What would you take a note of? And what the word is to practice your information here. Looking forward to seeing your answers. Okay, Akaya has said first pregnancy, very important. Might be key topic to this. Treatment before first pregnancy, treatment before treatment, keywords like this. Medical treatment has said Robin. Anything else that we find pointed? Needed, Princey has said. Princey has also said treatment as well. Fantastic, guys. Thank you. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Birth type is important too. Marlon has said presented. All your key content words here. All of them. They're all very important. At least take a note of or be aware what they are, guys. Keep them coming. Great. Lots of great suggestions coming through from Jipin, from Anisha, etc., etc. Akila over on the Facebook page. Fareez, thank you very much. Ansi on the YouTube page. Well done. Dai, plenty of essential information coming in here. Okay, guys. So, yes, we're getting the key content words. Needed. Needed is a very strong verb. And obviously that would be alluded to otherwise. Needed. Treatment. First pregnancy. So the key content words, needed, treatment, first pregnancy. You will hear something like that. We also have first baby presented, okay? There could be a second baby. There could be a third baby. First could be really, really important. Required intervention. After giving birth, problems, helped midwife. So the important key words, take a note of them. Be aware of what's going on. Skim them, scan them, underline them. You can use them to follow along with the listening as you see them and as you are aware of them. So it's important to be aware, to use for your prediction, to understand what is coming next. Nice work, guys, with all of that. Okay, great. So that's the first skill, guys. What we've done there is we have practiced our analysis of our keywords, our headings, our information to begin with. You were using that in the 30 seconds to prepare for what is coming next. That's what the 30 seconds are for. The next thing that we can do, and what we practiced in the previous class, but of course we could do with more practice with, is analyzing our gaps, our gap analysis. Why is this important? Well, of course, because you're looking for keyword accuracy. You're looking for putting down the accurate word. It's really important to know what the accurate word is when you're filling in gaps in a note. That's why gap analysis is a really important skill, obviously in the 30 seconds or when you're going along with the listening as well. Let's have a look at this now and see how we can put this into practice. Okay, guys. Essential because accurate word choice and form is essential for getting the mark for the gap. If you get the wrong form of the word, or even worse, the wrong word, you're not simply going to get a mark. So we can improve our chances of getting the right word by having understanding of what kind of word might go in the gap. And of course, having a knowledge of grammar using sentence structures will help you predict and correctly choose the correct word as an answer. Okay, this isn't just about your listening skills as well. This is about your general English skills. It'll help you in your reading, it'll help you in your speaking, it'll help you in your writing too. So a knowledge of grammar is useful for this exercise and everything else. Well, as I said, it could also help you in focusing in your listening, so you're aware about what the word could be in advance as well, what I deem an essential skill. Okay, now let's practice. We're looking at the first set of notes for our listening exercise once again for Melissa Gordon. So as we can see here, we have a series of gaps. Works as a blank. Okay, let's look. Works, verb, as, auxiliary word, a, article, blank. What kind of word do we think will follow on from a in this gap? Analyze your use of English. Article here, gap here. What kind of word do we think will follow on from this? Okay, throw your comments in, guys. Let me know. What kind of word do you think will follow on after an article in your use of English. Okay. So Davina has said a profession, and that, of course, is a noun. Emma has said a noun as well. C2 has said a noun. Keep them coming, guys. Tanaka, a chef. Okay, you're really predicting what the word will be, but let's analyze the kind of word that might be used. Okay, you can predict what the answer will be, but there's lots of professions out there, as we say. We're trying to analyze the word type as well as we can. Yeah, Mela has said noun. Arena has said noun. Iniabog has said noun. Van has said noun. People are saying nouns, Princey, Day, Preeti, etc. Everyone's saying nouns. Yes, more than likely. We'll analyze it a bit more. It's more than likely a job, as we say. So the question might be, I think this is a noun. I'm pretty sure this is a noun, actually. But what kind of noun might it be? Oh, this could be a job. Works as a. Relating the key content word to something else. Good. Number 2, has occasional what? Sentence structure. Has verb, occasional adjective, and then our blank. What kind of word do we think will follow on from this now? What do we think, guys? Throw those comments in to the chat box. What kind of word do we think will follow on from this? Let me know. Testing your knowledge of English here. Sentence structure, grammar. How do we put it all together? How do we piece it together? And how can we use this to help us predict? Okay, people are saying nouns. Good, good. Lots of people are saying, once again, a noun. Yep. Right, he has given more information in noun starting with a consonant because we have a. It's actually the sound that happens before Rahi. It's the vowel sound. We'll have an after it. But yes, okay, people are saying verb. People are saying a disease. Interesting. Okay. 99999. Okay. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. Nice. People are saying jobs here, a noun or a disease. Yeah, more likely a disease, a symptom or a disease. Great. So the answer to this one, of course, is a noun. It's a medical term of sorts, right? So it could be a symptom, it could be a disease, etc. Great. So you're going to be listening out maybe for a noun, which indicates a medical term or a disease, around about what we might hear as occasional. Okay, next one is allergic to. Number 3. So is auxiliary verb, allergic adjective, to is our infinitive that follows, and then we have what here. Is allergic to something. What kind of noun do we think might be here? Oh, did I say noun? Oh, I give it away. This happens quite a lot. I apologize. But anyway, you can tell me more. What kind of information do we think might be the answer? So something, a noun. We're seeing a pattern here, guys. We're seeing a pattern. We do see an awful lot of nouns in listening practice. But it's important, obviously, for you to see what kind of noun it might be. So Marlon has said a name of a food or a medication. People are saying a kind of drug here as well. This is all very useful, So symptom says Daphne. Kevin says noun. Blessy has said a noun. Merciful has said a substance of sort as well. Okay, guys, we're all on the right track, roughly. Yeah. So it could be a medication. That's what I think it might be. Allergic to something. Could be a medication, or it could be something else in which there could be an allergen, as Sarah has said there, an allergen of some sorts. Nice. Very good. Okay, number 4. Has a diet. So we have has, verb, a, article, blank, but then we have diet as a noun, right? So what kind of verb, it's not a verb, I'm not saying anything, what kind of word would usually precede a noun in this case? We have the article here, we have a gap, and then we have a noun in the form of diet here. So what kind of word would precede this? Let me know. Sarah said an adjective, right? Okay. Vanitha said adjective. Emma said an adjective. Dia has said an adjective, right? Daphne said a kind of food or a medicine. Joseph said an adjective as well. A food, a medicine, a pollen. Jinafi said something. That's a great answer. Something. Okay. So Mona said a type of diet. All right. So an adjective describing a kind of diet. We heard vegetarian. We've heard vegan here. Vegetarian. So a kind of diet. Well done. We got it, guys. So it's a noun, or it could be an adjective. In this case, it is an adjective, of course. And it's a type of diet you're listening out for here. There we go. We predicted the answer. We now know what we're listening for based on our analysis of that gap. Okay. And then we, of course, we have the other keywords, non-smoker. This will be her second child. They are used as signposting device to know where the consultation is and when you have to listen out for the next gap. But some of the information might be important with that. Nice work in that analysis, guys. Let's do a few more. So we have needed something treatment before first pregnancy. Needed something treatment before first pregnancy. So we have needed is a verb ending in ed. Something treatment is our noun, and then the rest. So we have a noun, we have a verb, blank, noun. What kind of word do we think might be missing here in this gap? Throw them in, guys. Throw in your suggestions. Throw in your comments. So honey has said liquid. Oh, that's for the previous question. Yeah. Could have been that actually. So what do we think the answer might be here in this gap for number 5? Throw them in adjective. If you're throwing an adjective, great. But what kind of adjective do we think it might be? Can we focus in on a category about adjective? That's better. Okay. Interesting comments coming in here, guys. But we're on the right track with adjective coming in. Neither is it a noun. Okay. Medical. Yeah. So some sort of medical treatment, right? Right? Yeah, you would be right there. So we're looking for a type of treatment. Adjective describe a type of treatments. Okay. So listening in for your knowledge of medical treatments in the context of the conversation, and we can see where that goes. Nice work. Okay. Then it says first pregnancy. Then it says first baby presented as what? So first baby, it's our noun phrase, presented verb as auxiliary, and then we have our gap here. What kind of word do we think might be here? Based on our knowledge. Keep them coming, guys. This is great work we're doing today. We're predicting the exercise. We're putting the skill into place. Yes, this has probably gone on for about 5 minutes now. You only do have 30 seconds per consultation, but you will get quicker at this. You will get faster. We're just analyzing this to make sure that everyone is doing it well and up to ability today. But throw in your comments, guys. What do we think number 6 will be? Right. So Vinitha has said a noun. Robin has said a noun. Please don't throw any answers in as of yet, Robin. There's no need to throw the answers in because that just ruins the exercise for anyone else. Please don't do that. Ant has said a noun, a kind of disease. Ant has said a noun, a kind of disease as well. Mona says, if you like position, a position of some sort. Right, nice work. So a noun, it's a noun used to describe a type of pregnancy. That's how this might work, a type of pregnancy. Okay, 7, something required during intervention. What do we think that one might be? Something required during intervention. What do you think the comment might be in that, guys? Okay, so something required. So we have required is a verb during intervention. What do you think the answer might be here? Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. A 9. Okay, good. Medical condition. It says merciful. Thank you very much. A noun, some sort of kind of disability. Interesting comments coming in here. So the answer number 7 is a noun, but it's something related to the previous point. So these 2 points might come really, really quickly here because we have a sub-point here. A sub-point here would be related to the first point. So these 2 ideas will often be related, and they also might come really, really quickly as well. Last one, after giving birth, had problems with number 8. So had problems with something. So what do we think? After giving birth, our keyword. Had, verb, problems, pluralized noun, with preposition, and then we have our gap here. What kind of word do we think might be missing in this last gap, our keyword analysis? Keep the comments coming in, guys. Throw them in. I said a kind of noun, of course. Yep. The key word is that a lot of these are nouns, but it could also be a verb, as Haru said. It could be a verb. Marlon said a noun, test, or a procedure as well. Daphne said a noun, a medical procedure, potentially, could be. Emily has said a noun, very good. Mela has said a verb plus ing. Okay. Princey has said a noun as well. Okay, we're on the right track. So, yep, it's likely a noun in this. It could be a verb, but it also will be a noun in this case. I want to show what the answer would be. So as you can see, the majority of words that you will see actually will be nouns. The majority of them will be. What we've done there is we've actually taken it a bit further and we have predicted the kind of word that it also might be. We're focusing in the kind of category it might be. And we can help use that to predict our answers a bit more so. Okay, I'm not going to do these because we're actually kind of running out of time a bit today. It's going on a bit longer than I thought, but we can use this when we're listening to the extract later on and see if we can practice any of that with 9, 10, 11, and 12 to predict what the answer might be. Okay, essential skill number 3, and that is paraphrasing and synonyms when listening to the task itself. So why is this important? So as I previously mentioned, even though the answer will be in the same form as heard, as in the answer option will be the exact same word, you don't have to paraphrase that, the notes and words surrounding it will be different to what is heard in the extract itself. So knowing how to paraphrase and pick up some paraphrasing yourself and put it into the gap is essential. So recognizing synonyms and paraphrasing is essential for accuracy and following the recording successfully. So that's what we're going to practice now, guys. We're going to listen to an extract that we're going to hear very, very soon. And what you're going to do is listen to the extract and take note of the words and phrases which are synonymous with the following text. So in the notes, we have child from previous marriage. We have not keen on amniocentesis. Inquired about the possibility. Provided her with a leaflet. When you hear, yes, these points will be alluded to, but the listening extract will be slightly different. So when you do hear this point, how does it sound in the listening? How does this sound in the listening? How does this sound in the listening? And also, how does this sound in the audio extract too? We're going to practice our ability to recognize paraphrasing and to recognize any changes in the form of the word here. So a brief exercise. We're going to hear it once. If we don't get them all, that's fine, but I want to see if you can at least pick up on some of these points as you hear it. So guys, I'm going to start the recording now. Make sure you've got a piece of paper and a pen handy so you can listen alongside and take notes with this. Good luck, everyone.
So can I ask you about the baby's father?
Sure. That's my husband, Paul. There's something in his family history that I should tell you about, I think. His grandfather and father both had epilepsy, though he hasn't developed it himself. I'm not sure if that means his children have a greater chance of having it or not. Oh, also, he has a child from his first marriage, and she has Down syndrome, so he gets a bit anxious when I'm pregnant.
Oh, well, that's understandable, of course. We can discuss various testing options if you like. You might want to consider amniocentesis, for example.
But that carries a risk of miscarriage, doesn't it? I don't want to go for that. I've heard about another test called CVS. Is that something to consider?
Well, it's certainly an option. However, that procedure, in fact, also carries a small increase in the risk of miscarriage. And you'd need to come to a decision fairly soon because it's normally carried out between weeks 10 and 12 of the pregnancy.
Well, I can tell you straight away that if there's more risk, then I wouldn't consider it. I know my husband will feel the same.
Well, that's fair enough. So is there anything else you'd like to ask me about today?
Nothing urgent. But it'd be good to know more about how to get siblings ready for a new addition to the family. I want to make sure Ella doesn't feel threatened or replaced or anything.
Well, there's a leaflet that many parents find helpful. Here we are. Have a look through that.
Oh, thanks. That's great. I'm sure I'll have lots more questions at our next meeting.
Here we are. That was very, very quick. I do understand, but this is what we have to do in the listening exercise. So there were, of course, a few words and phrases there. What was actually said in the the recording itself was slightly different, as you can see. So let's see what you got down. Did you get a few words and keywords that paraphrase the notes to what was actually heard in the listening? So, child from previous marriage. Did anyone get what was said in the listening recording instead of that? Let me know in the chat box, guys, what was actually said in the recording itself that was paraphrased or synonymous from child from previous marriage. Throw your answers in, guys. So Vanna said child from first marriage. Okay, keep them coming, guys. A few more comments to see what we got. Emily said child with first marriage. Okay, siblings, first marriage. We heard first marriage, etc., etc. Okay, now let's have a look. So the answer to that one was something like that. We got it. The doctor said also, the patient Melissa said also he has a child from his first marriage. So first and previous were synonymized here in that. Nice work. Okay, number 2. Not keen on amniocentesis. Not keen on amniocentesis. So what was this? Some people are saying here had Down syndrome. That wasn't related. It did follow on afterwards, but it wouldn't even sound similar to child from previous marriage. It's a different point altogether. It did follow on, no. So not keen on amniocentesis. As we know, not keen means, oh, I don't like the idea of that. Oh, no, that doesn't interest me. So what was said instead of not keen on amniocentesis by Melissa in the recording? What did she say instead of that? I will not go for that, said Malaz. Thank you very much, Malaz. Anyone else got any comments coming in? I will not go for that is the best. Don't want to go or too risky, said Emily. Chris said at risk of miscarriage. Risky has also been said as well. Very, very good, guys. Very good. So this is what was said. I don't want to go for that. So that was something like that. Melaz, etc. You got that correct. I don't want to go for that. I'm not keen on amniocentesis. So that would be the key point around that point. You can listen for your signposting as well as what the potential answer option be if there was a gap in that case. Doesn't want, not interested, as people said here. Great. Okay, number 3. Inquired about the possibility. Inquired about the possibility. What was said in the listening recording that was synonymized or different about that? Okay, so Merciful has said did not agree to the procedure. Okay, keep them coming in, guys. Not preferred due to miscarriage. She wants something different. Not willing for amniocentesis. This is the previous point still. That's completely fine. So Ulra said an option. Daphne has said don't want to. What will happen, says Harry. Of trying CVS, says Mitchell as well. Very good, very good. Not interested, people have said. Other tests. Okay, let's see what was said. So she inquired about the possibility. I've heard about another test. Is that something to consider? So inquired is interested in something. I want to know information. So she said, I've heard about another test. That's the possibility. Is that something to consider? Is her inquiry. It was something like that we heard. And then finally, number 4, provided her with a leaflet on preparing. So the doctor provided her with a leaflet on preparing. What was synonymized with this information in the recording too? Please let me know in the chat box. Provided her with a leaflet on preparing. What was used here? Let me know. So Daphne is saying, what are the options? That's for number 3. That's perfect. Yep. So what did the doctor say instead of provided her with a leaflet on preparing? Let me know in the chat box, guys. Okay, guys, some good comments coming in. Great. So provided her with a leaflet, the doctor said, there's a leaflet that many other patients find helpful. So you would have heard something like this in the audio script. That would indicate that in your notes, in the listening extract, that we're currently around here. If there was a gap in that option, you would, of course, then have to listen around for what the option might be, but also very, very important for your signposting as well. So this is why we find that information important. Okay, good. So as you can see, an important skill overall still. To be aware of paraphrasing, to be aware of synonyms, so you can use that for signposting and focus in your listening for where an answer option might be. Remember that what you hear in the audio transcript will be different to what is written in the case notes overall. Nice work, guys. So we're going to get into our listening practice very, very soon. But of course, you're all here to pass your OET exam as quickly and as cheaply as possible. But how do you want to pass first time? I want to know, do you have the motivation to succeed in your OET? Do you have the time? Do you have the tools? And do you have the support and feedback? All 4 of these are needed. I can see you have the motivation. I can see many of you have the time. But do you have the tools, support, and feedback to pass your OET exam the very, very first time? That is really, really important. And of course, we at Swoosh English want to make you aware right now that we are currently providing a free OET masterclass to everyone who is looking to do all of that. Click the link. You'll see it in the chat box very, very soon to get access to a 4-part video series on OET listening, reading, writing, and speaking, showing you the tips, tricks, methods, and strategies, and the mindset you need to have to pass your OET exam the first time. You'll also get access to a free OET writing guide as well. So if you're interested in that, guys, sign up with the link in the chat box. Come on over and check out our free materials here at Swoosh English. Okay, guys. So some other tips to do with your OET listening before we begin. So how much time do you have before listening begins? Who does most of the speaking? Is the answer always one word? Will you have to paraphrase the answer in the audio? Will the written case note be the same as the way it is said in the audio? And is correct spelling important? Here are the answers. So remember, you have 30 seconds to listen before the audio begins. Remember that the patient will do most of the speaking, but the doctor will be used. And it's important to listen to the doctor for signposting and for clarity on what's happening. Is the answer always one word? No, it's up to 3, sometimes with a number as well. So be aware you might have to put down a short phrase. Will you have to paraphrase the answer in the audio? No, the word in the audio can be directly taken and put into the gap. However, the written case notes, as we've said, will be different to the way it is said in the audio. Hence why we practice essential skill number 3 today, recognizing, paraphrasing, and synonyms. And finally, is the correct spelling important? Well, it depends. As I've said, you don't always have to correctly spell the word. It's not always essential. However, you should try, of course, the spelling as well as you can. But as long as you write down the word that is phonetically correct, aka you've written it as it would be pronounced, you may get a mark for that as well. But of course, I recommend everyone tries their best spelling overall. Okay, guys, we're going to do a bit of sample practice now. So we're going to actually do this listening extract. So we practiced the 3 different essential skills today of keyword analysis, heading analysis, gap fill analysis, and also practicing our ability to recognize synonyms and paraphrasing. We're going to put this all into practice now in the form of our listening exercise today. So let's see how well you've learned all of that today. Can you put what you've done in prediction into a listening extract? Will be approximately 5 minutes. So let's see how well you're going. Guys, if you're enjoying this class today, by the way, too, let me know by throwing me a comment into the chat box. Give us a like, give us a love. I, of course, appreciate everyone coming today. I want to make sure that you are also appreciating this listening class on part A today as well. But anyway, get a piece of paper, get a pen, take some notes if you want to as well. We're going to do the listening extract now. Good luck, guys. I'll be starting the audio in a second. Make sure you are prepared and ready to go.
A. In this part of the test, you'll hear 2 different extracts. In each extract, a health professional is talking to a patient. For questions 1 to 24, complete the notes with information you hear. Now look at the notes for extract 1. Extract 1, questions 1 to 12. You hear an obstetrician talking to a patient called Melissa Gordon. For questions 1 to 12, complete the notes with a word or short phrase. You now have 30 seconds to look at the notes.
So this first meeting, Mrs. Gordon, is mainly a chance for you and I to get to know each other. I'll ask about your medical history, and this is also an opportunity for you to ask me any questions that you've got at this point.
Sure.
So some background. What kind of work do you do?
I have a job at an engineering company. I'm a computer programmer. I currently do 4 days a week, but I hope to reduce that to 3 after my maternity leave.
Ah, excellent. So tell me about your medical health. Do you have any conditions I should know about?
Well, I have asthma attacks, but they don't happen often. I lost about 10 kilos, and that certainly helped. I have an inhaler, but I hardly ever use it. Oh, I should also let you know that I come out in terrible hives if I take penicillin, but not other things. I'm fine if I eat nuts, for example. I have a fairly healthy lifestyle. I'm a vegetarian and I've never smoked.
Good.
I'm afraid I don't go to the gym or anything, but I walk to work and generally keep active.
Oh, that's good. So this is your first pregnancy?
No, I have a daughter called Ella. She's 3 now.
Ah, and did everything go smoothly that time?
There were no major problems during the pregnancy itself, but it took me quite a time to fall pregnant the first time. After having various tests, I was given some fertility drugs. Oh, what were they called? It's on the tip of my tongue. Never mind, it'll come back to me. This time, though, I didn't need any help.
Oh, it's no problem. What about labour last time round?
Oh, that was a nightmare. Though everything, thank goodness, worked out in the end. It was a breech birth. It looked as if I might have to have a cesarean, and I really didn't want that. I was pleased I managed without an epidural, too. They had to use forceps to get Ella out, but I didn't need any stitches, so that was okay. Unfortunately, though, I had some difficulties after the birth, too. I was desperate to start breastfeeding, but that didn't work out. At least not until I was given some guidance by the midwife.
Okay. So can I ask you about the baby's father?
Sure. That's my husband, Paul. There's something in his family history that I should tell you about, I think. His grandfather and father both had epilepsy, though he hasn't developed it himself. I'm not sure if that means his children have a greater chance of having it or not. Oh, also, he has a child from his first marriage, and she has Down syndrome, so he gets a bit anxious when I'm pregnant.
Oh, well, that's understandable, of course. We can discuss various testing options if you like. You might want to consider amniocentesis, for example.
But that carries a risk of miscarriage, doesn't it? I don't want to go for that. I've heard about another test called CVS. Is that something to consider?
Well, it's certainly an option. However, that procedure, in fact, also carries a small increase in the risk of miscarriage. And you'd need to come to a decision fairly soon because it's normally carried out between weeks 10 and 12 of the pregnancy.
Well, I can tell you straight away that if there's more risk, then I wouldn't consider it. I know my husband will feel the same.
Well, that's fair enough. So is there anything else you'd like to ask me about today?
Nothing urgent. But it'd be good to know more about how to get siblings ready for a new addition to the family. I want to make sure Ella doesn't feel threatened or replaced or anything.
Well, there's a leaflet that many parents find helpful. Here we are. Have a look through that.
Oh, thanks. That's great. I'm sure I'll have lots more questions at our next meeting.
Okay, guys, there's the listening extract done for number 1. Of course, we're only going to play it once like you would in the day of the real OET exam to make it nice and appropriate. So let's have a look now and see what the answers were for that listening extract. Let's now have a look. Okay, guys, so here were the answers. They're at the bottom right here. Number 1 was a computer programmer. Computer was not essential. As long as you've written down programmer, computer in brackets were also important. Number 2 was asthma, but you could also say attacks as well. So any words you see in the brackets weren't essential information, but you had written them down, you would have got the mark. 3 was penicillin. 4 was vegetarian. 5 was fertility. 6 was a breech. 7 was the forceps or the forceps, different spelling. 8, breastfeeding. 9, epilepsy. For 10, you could have written Down syndrome, or DS for short, or DNS for short, or then Downs plus syndrome in brackets. 11 was CVS, or chronic villus sampling. O is not essential in the spelling, but if you had included it, then you would have got the mark too. 12 was siblings, or brothers and or sisters overall as well. Well done to those who did that and did it well. So guys, let me know what your marks were overall. How did you do in that exercise? Did you get all 12? Did you get 11? Did you get 10, etc.? Throw in your marks. And of course, I hope that you find the exercise useful today in terms of the keyword analysis, the heading analysis, the gap analysis, and really fine-tuning your listening in to see how well you could do with listening, following along with listening, paraphrasing, and seeing how it goes. Iniyubong got 11. Nice work with that. Mitchell got 12 overall. So 12 out of 12. Let me know, guys. How did you get on overall? What were your marks? How did you get on? Mela got 12. Van got 11. Sarah got 10. Nice work, guys. Dorothy got 12. Mac, Vanitha, Jinsey, Hiba, RH, Tanaka were getting 11 or 12. Nice. Jed also got 11 too. Suja got 12. Very good, guys. The lowest score here is 10, which is amazing, guys. You're getting 10, 11, or 12 out of 12. Fantastic work there overall. Nice work. Nice work there. Haru, I think you still would have got the mark for that as long as you had written asthma overall. That should have been fine. Okay, nice work, guys, there with your seriously good marks. Good job in taking on board the listening class today, practicing the skills, and then producing it in the listening exercise overall too. Nice work, guys. So let's review what we learned in today's lesson. Remember, learn the format of the exam. Know exactly what listening part A is and what you have to produce, how long it is. Remember to analyze the key words at the very beginning, including the headings and the key words in the notes to focus your attention when you are listening. Next, predict logical answers in the gap from context and with your grammatical knowledge, as we did. So we analyzed the type of word it might be, as well as the category of word it might be. So we're listening out for the word we think it might be. Remember to listen out for synonyms and other forms of paraphrasing. The words that you hear in the listening transcript will be different to what's in the notes, so be able to recognize that and practice doing that. And of course, the final tip today is that practice makes perfect. Of course, we did spend a bit more time than you would normally do with this exercise, but get into the habit of doing this, rinsing and repeating every time with your listening part A practice, and you will get faster and you will get more accurate with it as well. Okay, guys, that's it. Nice work with everything today. So I'm going to take for the next couple of minutes any questions you might have today. You can also let me know what you will take away from this lesson. What will you take away? What did you appreciate? What do you think you did well today? And what would you like to improve on as well? Or any other questions you might have. So we're going to engage in some evaluation and on some self-reflection. So let me know any of your answers to any of these questions. Throw those comments into the chat box, or as well as spend a bit of time to ask me any questions that you might have about that today. And I'd be happy to answer them very, very, very briefly. Thank you. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for spending the time to come along today and see how it went. It was great, great. Okay, so Lugongo has said, when are we having another session? So we at Swoosh English do our free listening classes, reading classes, and speaking classes every 9 a.m. UK time on Friday. The next one will be next Friday. And speaking of that, here it is. Next Friday, we're doing another OET mock speaking practice class. So come along on the 7th of May at 9 a.m. UK time to the Swoosh English Facebook page or the OET official Facebook page or YouTube channel, as some of you are watching on as well. Tune in at 9 a.m. UK time for another live OET mock speaking class. I'll be very, very happy to have you all in that session. Great. Okay. So now, of course, we will be doing some listening, part B and part C, as we're progressing through the listening series of classes. They will be coming very, very soon, my friends. So I know someone here said, Haru has said listening C is quite challenging. That's right. We'll be getting to that very, very soon. But today we were focusing on listening part A. Now, remember, guys, I hope that you are all preparing for your OET exam accurately. Do you have the motivation to succeed, the time, the tools, and the support and feedback? If you do have all of these, then you are on track to passing your OET exam the first time. And of course, that's where we at Swoosh English come in. So if you are interested, sign up to our free OET masterclass today if you want some more information, tips, tricks, methods, and strategies to doing well in your OET exam with Swoosh English. You'll see the link in the comments on the Facebook and YouTube channel to our free OET masterclasses, plus get your free OET guide to writing as well. We want to give you all those resources. Come on board. We really want to help you pass your exam. Sign up today. I'd be very, very happy to do so. Links in the comments, guys. So if you're asking, where is the comment? Where are the links? They're in the comments. They're in the chat box on Facebook and YouTube where you are all commenting. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming along today. Absolute pleasure having you guys in the class. You are a nice interactive bunch. The most important thing is that you took on board the strategy and advice that I taught today very, very well and got fantastic results with your listening part A results, which was great. You're very welcome, guys. Thank you very much for coming along today. Hiba, Jinsey, Haru, and Lut. I can see a few comments coming through from you guys, as well as a few others too. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. Of course, if anyone else has any other questions today, I know I'm ending the session very now. I see if a few people have got some questions about our packages at Swoosh English, about today's lesson. You can see my email address here. Scott, can't even see my face. Scott, support@swooshenglish.com. If you have any more questions about anything today, about the masterclass, or about how we at Swoosh English can help you pass your OET exam the first time, it says here, contact support@swooshenglish.com. Send us an email. I'd be very, very happy to help you out with any of your questions about anything in today's class, as well as anything else about your OET preparation. So once again, guys, thanks a lot for coming along today. I'll see you all next week for the OET live mock speaking class, and then we'll having a reading class the week after that, and then we'll have another listening class in about 3 weeks' time as well. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day. See you all very soon, and good luck with your OET preparation.